With a view like this, you can't go wrong. Hey, what's up guys? I'm just heading up in the mountains here for a solo overnight camp. I'm equipped with just over 20 pounds of base gear, and that's not including the snowshoes on my feet. The aim this trip is to just go up with the essentials, keeping it pretty simple. There's still lots of snow up top, so should be a beautiful night of peace and serene beauty, and wanted to share the journey with you guys, so hope you guys enjoy. So the avalanche conditions are considerable today, so we're just paying attention to the terrain as we go. Now, if you look up here, that's more of a straight uphill, which is in a bit more of an avalanche zone. But if you kind of look behind me here, we can go up that shoulder and it's a bit of a less steep section. The conditions aren't too bad with the snow, but with the heightened chance of an avalanche, it's good to play it safe and always be looking for the safest route possible. Just a little tip when snowshoeing. If you stay on the parts where it's shady, it works in your benefit in two ways. The snow is less likely going to be soft from the sun, and you conserve energy as well. Just been trying to stick to the shady parts. It actually can help you maneuver a lot more faster. One thing to be mindful of, and they're actually more consistent around the area at this time, is this cornice over here. They're fairly present in a lot of these areas around this time. So just stay way back on the ridge, because you never know what could be a false edge. Is a rule of thumb, never go close enough to the edge where you can see over it. And I always add a bit of extra space back to be safe. So I've found a place I'm gonna call home for the night. Feels good to be out of the tree line. Got some beautiful views. Got a beautiful view of the west. Mountain peaks all around. Can't go wrong. With this tent set up, it's easy to forget how many tent pegs this whole tent system can use. I have one short, so what I'm gonna do, and if you're ever short a tent pole, you can take a bag, bury some snow, bury that, and you can use that as an anchor point. It's starting to feel like home. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the sleep system. So tonight I got the Thermarest sleeping pad, and I'm going to be using this 0 degrees Celsius rated sleeping bag. Now, if you watched my last video, you noticed I used the same 2 items here, as well as an emergency bivy bag, which worked really well for the night. Now, we are going to be in the minuses again tonight. The only difference is I don't have the emergency bivy, and instead I have this nice lightweight tent. And even though this is a summer tent, this is good enough as a windbreak and to prevent us losing heat from convective currents from wind during the night. Combined with these 2 items, I'm confident I'll have a good night's sleep. The nice thing about these snow conditions, it's really ideal for boiling water. The snow, instead of being mostly air, is actually quite a bit more wet, as there's more wet snow at the moment, so makes boiling water a lot more quicker. Long overdue time for a mocha. So, long story short, earlier today I had a raven following me up the trail, and it perched itself at 2 separate trees following me up the logging road. And ravens are actually renowned to be spiritual messengers. I'd like to think this is a good omen. Beautiful experience with a raven. He came back multiple times, he or she. And this is a beautiful kind of experience that you get blessed with when you come out to these places. A lot of solitude, nature. It's really nice. Just changed out of my wet boots into these camp booties. I find these things are always worth the wait. For dinner this evening, grilled chicken with spinach Alfredo pasta. Looking forward to this one. So as for water out here, I brought 2.5 liters of water in my hydration pack just to get me going for the first bit of the trip. But now that I'm here, I'm just melting snow for the remainder of the trip. And I have an Nalgene bottle, which I can refill to keep me hydrated. So with the clouds, unfortunately, we aren't going to get a sunset tonight. Definitely cold outside. Although it's spring, it still feels like it has that hint of winter. It was definitely a cold one last night. You could really feel the crisp mountain air. Going to have a hot drink, then slowly make my way out of here. So I'm all finished the journey. The trip went very well. I did get a little bit cold last night. As you noticed in the video, I was using a 0-degree rated sleeping bag. If you're doing this kind of trip in these conditions, I would recommend a warm sleeping bag past the temperature rating of what it says it's going to be outside. That being said, I'm always trying to tweak and adjust my gear and try new things, and I also know my body and my limits very well. And I definitely had a safe night's sleep. I had overall a comfortable night's sleep, but it was a little cold at times. And as I was saying, I'm always tweaking and adjusting things. And looking back at this trip, one thing I could have improved on is actually bringing my thicker down jacket, which I was using for more of my winter camps. As it's getting to spring, I let my guard down a little bit and I brought a lighter down jacket. But however, if I had had my proper big down jacket, it would have been a very comfortable night's sleep. But again, it's all about learning and seeing what works and what doesn't. And the best way to learn is to get out and do it sometimes. And I'm always a student, always learning how to improve and trying new things. But the main thing is not compromising our safety, which I had a good, safe night's sleep. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I nearly didn't go out this weekend. It was a long work week. I work in the labor field and I was this close to saying no this weekend, but I'm glad I came out. And often the times when we commit to these things, we're gonna get blessed. And I had a whole mountain to myself. It was a beautiful, amazing time. And I hope you guys enjoyed the journey. Otherwise, thank you for following. Any likes, comments, or subscriptions is greatly appreciated. Until next time, thanks for watching.